Welcome to part 3 of summer knives. In this episode, first we're gonna talk about belt knives and then about high-end folders. So it's gonna be the last episode. Unlike I said in the last episode, that's gonna be the last episode. This is really probably very much likely the last episode. Now, first knife, belt knives, 3 belt knives that I really like. This one, the Yars Coluber. I don't think this is available to the market right now anymore, or at least to a wider market. Maybe you can still find some in Europe, but around the world, I'm not sure how that's gonna be. But the Yars Coluber is a really nice Bowie style blade, not too long, not too short, 12 centimeters, so 4.6, something like that, inches, I guess, I don't know. I'm not too good with the inches. Flat ground blade, really nice swedge on the top, N690 steel. Matthias Busch design, and micarta handle scales, skinny handle, which works pretty well, thick in the front, slim in the back. And yeah, really nice, simple design, very lightweight also. Really good outdoors and hunting knife. I would put this in the category of this. Actually, it's an all-rounder. It's a good do-it-all knife in a nice size. I do like the sizes from my belt knives to be in like in this size range. I think it's a really good, nice size. You can do a lot of chores with it without being worrying that's too small or too big. Really nice Kydex sheath as well with a dangler. You don't need to take your belt off, that's great. Kydex sheath has sort of this traditional Bowie style shape to it, Bowie style leather shape to it, but it's still Kydex and has a really good retention. And yeah, really nice knife. I do really like it, especially for the price. It was a little bit over 100 euros. Good price for a knife like this. Next one is one that I have been using for a while now. It's the Feldknieven S1. And sadly, really sadly, I broke the tip off. Can you see this? I broke off the very end of the tip. Disgusting. Disgusting, disgusting, disgusting. That tip is really fine and you need to be careful. But other than that, great knife. Really thick blade stock, more than 5 millimeters I think. And convex ground, like all Feldknievens. And I got myself a Kydex with a dangler. And you also don't need to take your belt off because it has like a carabiner down here. So yeah, that's great. What else is there to be said about the Feldknievens? The handle is a little bit skinny for the outdoors, but it's made to be worn on the West. I guess this was made to be a pilot survival knife for the Swedish military, and it has exceeded far more than just this one task. And yeah, I think people really like Feldknievens except the price. And yeah, I do understand that. I think they are expensive. Sometimes you get them for a really good price, at least for Feldknievens. And yeah, convex grinds are kind of a weird thing. Some people like them, some people don't. Some people say they chip easier. Some people say they're hard to sharpen. Well, they're different to sharpen. The next belt knife I'm going to show you is also a convex ground blade. It's the Buck River Hudson Bay trading knife. And I'm just showing you these two simultaneously because both of them have a convex ground blade. But this one has a very different convex. It's like really thin, and this one is really thick. So it's really thin behind the actual edge, but it thickens up extremely quickly. So this one is a robust convex, whereas this one is a slicey convex. So yeah, and this one also has thinner blade stock than this one. So this one is more of a cutting tool. This one is more of a hard use cutting tool. So yeah. The the Hudson Bay. I don't think they make this anymore, at least I haven't seen it in a while. Very neutral handle shape, almost like a coffin style handle shape, and a very interesting traditional style blade. They used blade shapes like this in Northern America and Canada for a long time, in the Hudson Bay time, where people would trade with the natives and all that stuff. Mountaineer period, the first people in the United States, was like a very, very wild time, and people had knives like this to do all kinds of things. So this is like a cooking knife, a hunting knife, a do-it-all knife. People wore belt knives to be all-arounders, and this one is 100% an all-rounder. You can do a lot of things with it. In order to resharpen it, you have to put it on a stone and resharpen the entire area right here, which makes a lot of sense, because that way you thin out the knife as you go. With a flat grind, it actually gets thicker and thicker and thicker and thicker. And yeah, so if you resharpen a convex like it's supposed to be sharpened, then it's actually good, because it gets thinner, but it's also more difficult. And this convex right here is a little bit weird to sharpen, because you would take the entire coating off if you would do that. So you would sharpen it like a flat ground blade, which is, not exactly the way you sharpen a convex. But Buck River also does secondary bevels on their grinds, like a convex. A true convex is like a zero grind, so it's from here to here. There's no secondary bevel. But Buck River also leaves secondary bevels for robustness, and I also have secondary bevels on here because, yeah, it's just less chips with secondary bevels. This one is A2 steel, and this one is VG10, laminated VG10. So a stainless knife, in this case a stainless one, and a not so stainless one with this one. Yeah, but it has patinaed up quite a bit, so who cares? Patina and leather sheaths. I've put a custom dangler on here, so I don't have to take my belt off, and it rides a little bit lower and it moves a little bit better. So yeah, I like the sheath. It's a simple sheath, but it works. I have had the Hudson Bay for a really long time. Quite a few adventures this knife has seen. Yeah, so we'll never get rid of this one. I don't have many Buck Rivers. I think I only have two. Yeah, I only have two. And don't have a lot of Falknevens either. But I'm gonna buy more Falknevens in the future. I'm not sure if I'm gonna buy more Buck Rivers. Yeah, not sure. Not a real reason why. It's just I don't like most of their designs, or they're a little bit hard to get and really expensive, and yeah, I don't know. Maybe one day I see one that I really like and I just buy it. But for the amount of money, you have to think twice about it, and usually as you think twice about it, it's gone already. So yeah, the European market is difficult when it comes to American knives, especially like Hinderers, Buck Rivers, stuff like that. It's not that easy. Okay, let's go and get into high-end folders. The first one is one that I haven't been carrying that often lately, but I'm trying to. It's the Klutzli Border Guard. This could be described quality-wise as the European Sebenza, because it also has a hollow ground blade, really nicely hollow ground actually, and a titanium handle and a superb quality. This knife has such a nice fit and finish. It's so well made. It's one of the best button locks that I've ever seen. It's super fidgety, and yeah, expensive knife, not as expensive as a Sebenza, actually half as expensive as a Sebenza, I believe, depending on the version of a Sebenza you buy. But so it's not half, it's like a little bit more than that. But yeah, if you go with a Mike Carter Sebenza, it's half the price, I believe. So yeah, N690 steel on this one, which is, yeah, a lot of people would say that's controversial. But I wouldn't. I think the only controversial thing with this knife is the design, whether you like the handle or not, because this handle is very much designed for the saber grip, and I think not a lot of people will like it, or not all people will like this. So this knife is not for everybody. If you can get one in hand before you buy one, you should, because yeah, some people may not like this. I keep missing the thumb stud on here for some reason. Maybe it's because I'm staring at the screen and not on the knife, but yeah. The Klotsley Border Guard. Big knife, not huge knife though, almost 4 inches, 10 centimeters. And lightweight also, I think below 4 ounces, if I'm not mistaken. Here's the pocket clip, spring pocket clip, and yeah, made in Switzerland. And the Pole Force design, Dietmar Pole, who hasn't been very active in the knife industry for a while, and I think he's releasing some new knives this year, or has already been releasing. Not sure how those gonna be quality-wise, but yeah, he has designed a lot of knives for, and some for other people as well. And this one, he has designed as well. I think he's a good designer. You just have to like the way you hold his knives, because it's just very different. You can choke up here and put your thumb on here, so get a lot of control. And yeah, N690 at a higher priced knife is very uncommon, but it depends how it's heat treated. And I would say it also depends how you use your knives. If you are a user that likes a good blend between edge retention and toughness, then N690 is a fine steel. So for me personally, for instance, N690 is a good steel. For other people that only go for edge retention, well, it might not be such a good steel, but for me it is. So yeah, Klotsley Border Guard. Well, the next one is one that I also really came to like. It is the CT 562 CF, I believe, 452. The CT 452 CF. I don't, wait, the 562, is that the Hinderer? Anyways, this is the 452 CF. The big one. There is also a small version, the 450, I believe. And yeah, this one, 10 centimeters of blade length, a little bit more than that actually. So a little bit more than 4 inches. Big knife, big handle. Interesting handle. A lot of things going on here in the back. It's like a cold steel where they mill out this section also, so you get your pinky on here. So saber grip knife and hammer grip, depending how you hold it or how big your hands are. And yeah, very Russian design language on this one. So it's narrow but big, and has a no-nonsense blade shape basically, but it's also a flipper with bearings. And yeah, good action. The release is a little bit sticky. I think they have done this because they have gotten a lot of complaints about locks that are failing, and yeah, maybe they gave it a little bit more stickiness on the locks for that reason. Deep carry clip, very weird looking clip on this big knife, but hey, it works, so I have no problems with it. Nice milling and nice machining. S35VN steel, which I like. It's better than 20CV for me personally, but everybody's different. Nice blade centering. Still lightweight for the size. I think we only have a little bit over 4 ounces, so a little bit over 120 grams, which is really good for the, I mean, look how big this knife is. Like, let's bring out the Falkniemen again. This is a big folder. Yeah, I do really enjoy it. CTs typically are very thick behind the edge. This one is okay, so it's not gonna be the best slicer in the world, but yeah, it's just fun, and I do like it. It just speaks to me, and I always wanted this knife, and they were really inexpensive in the past, like really inexpensive quote, but for back then it was expensive, but in comparison to now, it's really inexpensive what they would cost in the past. Yeah, the CT. Nice carbon fiber also. Not the biggest carbon fiber guy, but on this one it makes a lot of sense. The next one, also Russian design. Chebukov Scout. Can you see the similarities? This is a Sienkiewicz design. Sienkiewicz, and this is a Chebukov design. Yeah, they speak the same language. Russian designs are just very unique. And this one is also big in terms of the size, also 10 centimeters of blade length, nice big size. In this case we have Sladinox, the masked steel, which is a stainless, the masked steel, very rare. Yeah, also comes from Russia, the steel. Titanium frame lock with an inlay. Super light detent, like crazy light detent. See how light this detent is in comparison to this one. This one is a mid. I would say this one is a middle hard detent. It's not completely hard, but not soft either. It's in the middle. I like that. I think it's a good detent. Between hard and soft detents, I prefer the hard detents, honestly. But yeah, some people don't. And this one, very fidgety. Really nice machining on the handle scales. Really lightweight because, I mean, this is a full titanium knife. Let's weigh these two guys really quick, because this is gonna be interesting. Okay, let's do grams first. Let me put the, whoop, come on. Okay, the Chebukov, actually let's do this one first. This one, titanium on one side, carbon fiber on the other side. Oh, and by the way, plastic caged bearings. So it's actually, it's steel bearings, but caged, the cage is plastic, which is very funny that CT still does this after all these years. But yeah, whatever. 120 grams. Remember, carbon fiber on one side, titanium on the other side. This one, full titanium. 119 grams, so 120 basically, which is, both of these knives weigh 4 ounces. That's crazy. Let's do a size comparison. Let's do pivot to pivot. Almost the same size. And this one is the same weight. That's crazy, crazy. So, and this is only possible with intense milling on the inside, like really intense milling. Otherwise you wouldn't get it to that weight. Also titanium pocket clip on this one, and a really smooth action. This one I don't carry regularly. This is my wedding knife. I do really like this for weddings and funerals. Every time I wear a suit, basically, almost every time I wear this with it, because it's fancy and it's also a good conversation piece. Russian knives are completely different in style and design, and yeah, it's also really cool and really smooth. I will probably never sell this one. I'm probably selling all my other Chebukov's knives though, because I don't really carry them, and if I don't carry a knife I usually sell it, and that's like a really, I don't know, big collection piece. But this one I'm probably not gonna sell. Another high-end flipper that's really nice. I don't carry flippers a lot. Most of my knives are thumb studs or Spyderco holes and washers. And these three knives that I'm going to show you, the last one now, are probably the only flippers I ever carry. I don't carry any other flipping knives. I just don't. It's not my favorite type of knife. The last one, another really nice one. The M48 by Medford Knife and Tool. Beautiful knife. Sleek, slim. Very easy to carry. Super fun, super nice action. It's not a drop shot action, which I do kind of like that you have to close it shut with your finger. It's kind of like on a traditional slip joint. It's kind of, you know, walk and talk a little bit. So, just a beautiful knife. The M48. S35VN steel again. And hollow ground, deep hollow ground blade. So we had, we're gonna compare these three in a minute. Yeah, here is the milling on the aluminium. British racing green aluminium in this case. Also closed back, which I really like because I do prefer that. Really nice details on the back spacer, on the pocket clip. Deep carry clip. Perfect action. The blade is robust on the stock, and then tip, very robust tip actually. It looks a lot thinner than it is. It's very thick. Not thick, but robust. It's not overly bulky though. And then we have a really deep hollow grind. A really weird blade shape. The first time I saw this, I thought this blade looks weird, but the second time I looked at it, I was like, okay, this is great. Amazing knife. Really like the profile. Like the close profile as well. Tons of different configurations on this one as well. So let's do a size comparison between all of these because they're all the same blade length, I believe. Yeah, this one is the biggest, but same blade size on all of these, basically. This one might be 1 millimeter longer or 2 millimeters longer. And let's check the weight real quick on this one because I think this one is the lightest of them all. 99 grams, which is 3.4 ounces. So it's a lot lighter than the other two. Amazing to see these three knives in one shot. So we have like, this one is the most inexpensive. Well, this one, I can't give you a price because they used to be like 500 euros or 480, something like that, 480 to 500. Now they are completely gone because it's a Russian knife and, you know, nobody's importing Russian knives right now. So this one is the cheapest with being, you know, costing between 180 to 230, which I'm not sure if it's worth 200 something, but it's still a really good knife because this one is a production knife and these ones are like semi-customs almost. This one especially because the blades are forged. And yeah, this one, Medford, the Medford shop is also more like a semi-custom shop almost. It's you can't compare it with mass-produced knives. This one is mass-produced. And you see that by them still using the plastic cages for the bearings. This is, you know, clearly a sign for a big production because they don't want to change anything in the knife over the years. They want to keep it all the same so it's easier to produce a lot of them. So yeah. So, and yeah, the price on this one also about 480 to 500. So yeah, I would say price-wise, it's like this probably right now. And quality-wise, ooh, difficult. Well, this one has a crazy light detent. So this one is the craziest in terms of action. You can feel a clear difference between these two guys and these two and this one in terms of action because this one feels just a little bit more clunkier, and it's not because it has a harder detent. This one also has a hard detent, but it's a lot more refined. Wow, such a nice sound. Which is your favorite of these three knives? Well, 100% the Medford. It's just crazy. It's just a really good knife. I would like to carry this on a wedding also because it looks so elegant, but it has tank tracks on the front, which are not so elegant. Yeah. I wish they would have done some different millings, but the design is so classy and so nice. This knife right here is like an old car, but a really nice old car. Just beautiful, gorgeous, gorgeous. Maybe like an old car with the engine of a new car, I guess. Something like that. But it's just beautiful. My most favorite flipper right here. This one is really good as well though. For the price, if you compare it like half the price of the other two, well, that's fine. For the price it's fine. Really fine. Just not the slicing capabilities than on the other two guys. And yeah. M48, and then the Chebukov Scout in the Slutty Knox Damask Steel version. And this is bronze anodizing on the handle scales. Nice detailing on the back spacer. I've been into Russian knives for a long time, a lot longer than you may think, but yeah, I'm getting out of it actually, because I'm selling most of my Russian knives, so yeah. If I don't use them, I'm not gonna keep them. So there's only one more knife on this list, and it's the other knife that weighs more than 4 ounces, so more than 120 grams, just a little bit more, but it's still easy to carry. And if you have been watching this channel, you probably already know which knife this is, because I can't stop carrying it. Oh yeah, the Chris Reeves Sebenza large. Boring, so boring. I always show the same knives, I know. It's just so good. It's just a good knife. One of the best knives. One of the best folding knives that has ever been made, in my opinion. Just good. It's a good thickness on the blade stock. It's not thick, it's not thin. It's right in between and has a nice hollow ground blade. And especially with the inlays, it's just so nice. And this Sebenza is like a fine whiskey, I would say. It's like a fine aged whiskey. It's just it doesn't taste like alcohol. It's just a different thing. And yeah, Sebenza doesn't feel like a knife. It just feels different. It feels like a really nice piece of, not equipment, like difficult to explain. It's a really nice piece of hardware. It's just a cool thing. Yeah. The Sebenza. What a great knife. What a great knife. And what an expensive knife right now. Still crazy prices on the Chris Reeves. If you don't want to pay as much and still want to get that feel, well, the Medford. And it's also a flipper, so it's completely different, but the Medford is very, in terms of quality, very close to the Sebenza at least. And the Klatzli border guard also, crazy quality, crazy nice quality. It's just design wise, it's just has to speak to you, otherwise it's not gonna be interesting. So yeah, these are going to be my high-end knives for the summer. Every one of it has like a different purpose. Like I said, weddings and funerals. Hopefully this year more weddings, because actually I know that I'm going to more weddings this summer, which makes me happy because yeah, a lot of funerals the last years, and I just want to celebrate life again, and a wedding or a birth of a child is always a good thing. So whenever this happens, I'm gonna carry this knife, and if I want to work hard but still want to feel classy, Sebenza. That's what the Sebenza is for, actually. And same thing, working hard, feeling classy. Ooh, Medford M48. And this one is just because you like carbon fiber and big knives, I guess. And also has that tactical feel to it, a little bit, you know, it looks a little bit stabby and feels a little bit stabby. And this one, I guess, is the most working knife of all of them with the N690 steel and the hollow ground blade. Yeah, so this has been my summer knives update. Probably gonna buy 1 or 2 more knives this summer, but not a lot of them. Actually trying to sell a lot of them now, and yeah, not a lot of them, but some of them I sold, like I told you before, the Russian knives and a couple of other crazy stuff that I actually don't need. But yeah, I think I have a really good summer knife setup. Of course you can go lighter, and also, you know, depending what you like, smaller. But I like big knives as well, so yeah. It's hard to find big knives that don't weigh as much. It's a lot easier to find small knives, obviously, that don't weigh as much, but yeah. Very fixed blade heavy this year. Like I said, I'm going a lot more outdoors. Maybe I filmed some of it, I don't know yet. I'm not a big friend of filming outdoors because, you know, you kind of lose the experience if you're always filming everything that you do. But yeah, we'll see. We will see what happens. Now, I hope you guys have a nice start in the summer. And yeah, it's time to sweat a lot again. And it's actually quite healthy to sweat. But yeah, I'm just not the biggest fan of sweating all the time. Okay, people. Hopefully you liked this video. Maybe we'll see each other in another video. Goodbye, people.